So could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I first came to Japan 20 years ago now. I came out, finished university, had been working for a while, went over to the UK for a couple of years and had been thinking about coming to Japan for a while, and decided, I would continue on having the working holiday. So I came out to Japan in 2004 and arrived in Kurashiki, working at an English conversation school, and obviously thoroughly enjoyed that time there. So I lived in both Kurashiki and Okayama, and then came back to Australia. I was followed out by my then girlfriend, so we got married in Australia, and we've been living in Australia now, so since for the past 18 or so years, and we try to come back to Japan at least once per year. In Australia, I have two jobs. On Monday to Friday, I buy trams and trains for the state government, and then on the weekends I marry people.
You marry people?
I marry people. So I work as a wedding celebrant.
How long have you been marrying people?
I have been marrying people since 2018. We had a couple of rough years during COVID, but we've bounced back, and so I'm quite busy doing that, marrying people from all over the world coming to Melbourne, and then a lot of people from all over the world live in Melbourne as well.
How do you like your marrying job?
It's good fun to literally change people, because they're still the same people. Their position in society changes. They go from being single to being a legal family, and that's a pretty special thing. And there's a lot of rights that come with that, and they can take advantage of those.
Why were you interested in working in Japan in the first place?
I guess I had an interest in Japan and Japanese culture. Obviously, we had history through the Second World War, and after that, there were a lot of goods that you would see. You would see things with the mark made in Hong Kong or made in Taiwan, and you knew those were kind of cheaper things. When you saw something that said made in Japan, you knew that was something a bit special. There was there was quality and craftsmanship around it. I was interested in Japanese culture and Asian culture, and I decided, what the hell, I'll go to Japan for the first place to visit in Asia, and it was pretty easy to travel here, easy to get the job, so I thought I'd take the chance.
You are too majime.
Too majime?
Too majime, yes. As a kid, you liked this Sayuki, didn't you?
When I was young, I remember one Saturday afternoon sitting down. I was at my nana's place. It must have been school holidays, and I saw this movie come on TV called Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster. It was amazing, life-changing, absolutely life-changing. The most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen, and I loved it instantly. And then from when we were at primary school, Sayuki, Monkey Magic first came out, and it was a massive hit with all of the kids. So the very next day, that's all everybody was doing at lunchtime, was fighting each other, playing with shuriken and things like that. So those very impactful things in every kid's life. Like before that, in the 1960s, there was a TV series called The Samurai. Shintaro was the name of this main character. I don't know if it was that big in Japan, massive in Australia. Shintaro was always fighting the Iga ninja, and so that kind of culture has always been big in Australia. But Godzilla, Monkey, very big cornerstones of my youth.
Did you know that Monkey TV show was made in Japan?
Yeah, everybody knew it was a Japanese TV series. The actors, I think people in Australia didn't realise that they were really famous actors in that TV series, that they were, famous in Japan. We didn't realize how famous they were. And even to the point where it's been replayed on TV multiple times. Yeah.
Do you remember any of his monkey movement when he does magic?
Everybody remembers the plucking out their hair to make the monkeys, and everybody does that to make the cloud come. Everybody wishes they had.
Of course. What are we doing here?
We're doing for udon in the home of Sanuki udon.
Do you know what's the place called?
No idea. I'm just tagging along for the ride.
20 minutes later.
何それ?
Kabocha. How easy is it to get people to talk to?
50-50.
That's still pretty good.
You think so?
Are you trying to sell me something?
That's what I would think. だけど
Yeah.
As soon as I say, excuse me, their face changes to a smile.
Mm.
Oh, really? Every single person's face lightens up.
Do you find some people are happy to talk, just don't want to be filmed?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So one day I talked to this British guy and he said, oh, I'm too shy to be on your channel. And then, is it still okay to talk to you? And he says, oh, of course. And we chatted for 5 to 7 minutes happily. I don't think they get spoken to in Japan. In Australia, is it common to talk to strangers? It's more common than in Japan, right? So since I started this video thing, I tend to talk to strangers more often. So how was it?
Lovely. Very good noodles. And you can't beat the soup.
Do you eat udon often back in Australia?
Occasionally. Sometimes you can buy like frozen udon. I think we've had fresh udon before, or maybe dried udon, but yeah, nothing's going to beat the real thing.
Where are we?
We are at Kompirasa, the mountain and temple complex here in Kagawa. Kompira is famous for its many steps. There's a large staircase, or lots of stairs to get to the top of the mountain. Historically, you used to be able to get somebody to carry you up. I'm hoping that you might do that for me. If not, we'll try walking up instead. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So when you come to Japan, you traveled a lot, right?
Yes. Yes.
Where did you go?
So we have been as far north as Hokkaido, Shirotoko Peninsula, so getting right out to almost see Russia. The reason we went up there is because I wanted to see bears, and we did. So that was fantastic. We've been to Aomori at Oirase Gorge, which is a beautiful, absolutely stunning part of the world. We've spent a little bit of time in the Kanto area, so not a lot of time in Tokyo, Chiba. We did the Alpine route, so we spent time around in Nagano, then going across the Japanese Alps, Toyama to Kanazawa. We really like Ishikawa-ken, so we've been to Shirakawa-go, spent quite a bit of time in Kansai, so Osaka, Hyogo, Kyoto, up to the north of Kyoto as well, Amano-Hashidate. We went up there specifically for a train ride. There's a fantastic restaurant train that's really worthwhile doing. And we've spent time down in Kyushu, been as far south as Yakushima. Beautiful, again, a stunning island, spectacular scenery there, especially with the sugi, the Japanese cedar trees. And again, riding a few special trains there as well. When we visit places in Japan, we're probably looking for more natural beauty. I grew up in the countryside, so we tend to go there rather than visiting the cities. We spent time in Osaka, being out in the countryside. Inaka is where we like to be. That's why we keep coming back to Okayama.
Is it a compliment or not?
It's a compliment,
Oh,
of course.
thank you. What do you like about Okayama?
I quite like Kurashiki as a town, obviously, because I know the area. Okayama's also got lots of natural beauty as well. There's a lot of interesting parks and gardens around Okayama. It's nicely located, so it's also easy to go if we want to go to Hiroshima. It's easy to go to Hyogo, even up to Shimane as well. Easy enough to make a day trip to Shikoku. You can eat well, good rice, good peaches, good grapes.
While you are in Australia, what do you miss about Japan?
Because it's so far away, it's probably a little bit tough on my wife having her family over here. So we miss being able to catch up with family more regularly. There are certain conveniences in Japanese life. There's a lot of opportunities to see and experience different things as well. So there's a lot of art and exhibitions. I enjoy going to the baseball, so that's something I miss out on as well.
So it's obvious that you like trains and baseball games.
Yeah, that's right.
What's your favorite Japanese food?
As you well know, I do like karaage. I like niku udon as well. Actually, there's a really good restaurant in Soja that we used to visit that sold kamo udon, duck, udon with duck, which was really good. Not very common, but yeah, really tasty. I'm a big fan of duck meat as well. So every year around just after Christmas, we have a boning pie, an end of year party, and I cook duck on a barbecue, and we make Peking duck. You prepare the duck, you chop off the wing tips, chop off the neck, and then baste it. Make sure that it's dry. You've got to get the skin as dry as possible and loosen up the skin from the meat. So there's a bit of preparation, but it's not that hard. And if you do that, you get really crispy skin, which is what you're after.
You don't do turkey?
Dad does turkey because he's got a bigger barbecue than I have.
Is it good?
Very good.
So, very good. Oh.
Very good.
How was the meal?
Absolutely fantastic. Spicy and salty and really juicy. Lovely.
Would you come back?
I would come back for this, yes.